Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Precious metals are red across the board as expected from a slight correction as we went into overbought territory. The new silver stackers might be panicking as they experience their first real sell-off, but please do not sell. If anything, you should be buying. Why? Well, let's find out. So before we start, make sure you're subscribed and turn on post notifications. I post daily videos. I'm also giving away more than $1,000 worth of silver once we hit 40,000 subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed. It is critical to do so. Now, this video is talking about panic selling. I know there's a lot of new eyes, a lot of new stackers, a lot of people that are debating if they should get into precious metals, and stuff like this is what turns people away. And that's why I really want to get this video out and this point across that when it goes down, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. If you want it to go up, or if you want any asset to go up, it has to go down sometimes too. If it goes up, 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 then it's going to crash, crash, crash. That's why we need to build some stability. It's a gradual approach, small dips, and that's when you can take advantage and get prices for cheaper. Here's the summary. Well, this video is talking about 3 reasons to buy gold, and you can replace that word with silver as well. Gold and silver go hand in hand. Momentum tendencies suggest that gold's recent rally will carry through 2021. And I was actually reading a price prediction from, I think it was actually Seeking Alpha. They posted another article today talking about a price prediction. Now, they were very minimalistic on it. They were holding back, which is expected, especially from a huge company like this. They don't want to overshoot it. They don't want to give people false expectations, which could also drive people away, right? I'm a realist myself. You hear people like Citibank, Bank of America, Saxo Bank, some bigger companies, definitely some respectable sources talking about $100+ silver by the end of 2021. I don't think that's very realistic. And if it does hit that within a year, if it gets to $100 within a year, I don't think it would stay that high. It might happen, but I don't think it would stay up there. There has to be some sell-offs like what's happening right now. If it just shoots up to $100, then there's going to be a huge crash afterwards, just like Bitcoin in 2017. Shot up to $18,000 within like a couple months, and that's why it crashed. And it took 3 years for it to really, almost 4 years, for it to really gradually build and stay that high. So dollar weakness is strongly indicative that gold will rally for at least the next 12 months. Now, how high? It's honestly up in the air. And that's because the unknown variable. Nobody can say, well, gold's going to do this in the next 12 months, because nobody has a crystal ball to see what's going to happen over the next 12 months that will influence the price. So seasonal tendencies suggest that gold's rally will continue in the shorter time frame. So as you can see in the following chart, the last week has somewhat volatile for the gold price, with falling strongly on Friday. And if you think gold is volatile right now, well, silver times it by 2. Silver, gold on steroids. More exaggerated, more extreme version of gold. Now, while it may be tempting to sell gold at these levels, I believe this is a mistake. And I definitely think it's a mistake. You're selling yourself way too short. Just like anyone trying to sell Bitcoin right now. Way too short. Gold and Bitcoin, silver, Bitcoin, whatever. Keep these assets, keep these investments for years to come, and I promise you will be a very wealthy person. Now, specifically, it is my opinion that gold is going to rally over the medium to long term, which makes buying at these levels a solid play, right? It's a win-win situation. If you're looking for the long term, and I actually want to ask this question right now. Put this in the comments. When are you looking to sell? Right, realistically, what does your selling strategy look like? Is it 5 years down the line? Is it a couple decades, 20 so years down the line? Is it in a couple of years, or is it for retirement? Maybe you're never going to sell. Maybe you're going to pass it down to your kids or grandkids. What does your exit strategy look like? Because depending upon that, deciding that factor will also influence how you're buying these days, how you're strategizing these days. So to cut straight to the chase, I'm quite bullish on gold and believe that we're going to see a strong rally over the next year. And if he's talking about a strong rally from gold, then that means a stronger rally for silver. Did you know that silver was the number one asset or number one performing asset in 2020? If you never heard that until now, that means that people have been hiding it from you, because there's a lot of news sources, there's a lot of stuff out there that could be talking about that, but people try to downplay silver. They try to sweep that under the rug. And I'm not comparing that statistic from just gold or palladium. Silver was the number one performing asset in 2020, comparing it to stocks, to everything. So a major reason why I remain bullish on gold has to do with the historical momentum tendencies in the commodity. What I mean by this is that, historically speaking, there's a very clear correlation between past and future changes in the prices of gold during certain circumstances. And that's why we're investors, not gamblers. Gamblers wouldn't look at any of this. They'll just buy gold at a certain price and hope it goes up and pray it doesn't go down. Investors look at the puzzle pieces. We look at what circumstantial evidence has to do and how it correlates with the price. And then we put in the variables. We look at what's happening going forwards. We look at the economy, who's in office now, what plans are going forwards. And then we can decide on which investment best fits or best suits that market to rise in price. So in the above chart, I've calculated the average future 1-year return in gold given the past 1-year change. The chart helps us understand where gold is likely going to travel given how it has recently been changing. At present, gold has seen 18% rally over the last year. Historically speaking, when we see gold rally by this extent, on the average of the next 12 months, tend to see a gain about 12%. To get an idea, as per the skew of the data seen in the above chart, the following study shows the average gains and losses seen under various price change environments. And this is a really good thing to look at, because this is really where we get an idea for the future. But remember that unknown variable always is the biggest player. A lot of people don't factor in the unknown variable. Think back in 2019. All the articles like this, all the price predictions, the forecasts are way off. You know why? Because nobody could have predicted a global pandemic would be happening the next year. The unknown variable always catches people off guard. And that's also why we have to be on our toes. We have to be on our A game more than ever. So, I like this because it really does show some good insight, some good detail. And remember when I was saying that how investors, we incorporate the variables, it was happening in the economy, the political side of things, the dollar index, any scenario. And this is why I pick precious metals. This is why I love precious metals. Any one of these scenarios that plays out, whether it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all mean and all show that silver will come out on top. No scenario would look bearish or look bad for silver. Not one of them. Because stimulus is getting thrown out, that's a fact. The dollar index is going to go down, that's a fact. Throwing out trillions of dollars or $900 billion and maybe even another one to come, especially with Joe Biden, who's extra spendy, and the amount of money it's going to create to make a virus, a global virus, or a global vaccine, to distribute it. And not only that, the green energy revolution with the solar panels, throwing out a lot of money for that. Silver's incorporated in all this stuff, even the vaccine. Silver purifies water. It has great antibacterial properties that no other metal has. So regardless of what else happens, those things alone is going to push silver higher. We haven't even dipped into the supply and the demand factors, right? We haven't even talked about that. We haven't even talked about the gold to silver ratio, right? There's a lot of things that we could also incorporate giving a bullish case for silver, but those alone could drive silver through the roof. So, and that's not also true with gold. Right? Gold isn't going to be used in the green energy for these solar panels. It's silver's in photovoltaic cells, right? Silver's in all this industrial stuff. not gold. So when I'm talking about these bullish, this bullish proposal, I'm talking about specifically silver. But gold isn't a bad investment. Silver just has more opportunity, more potential. That's why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer. But gold is still a very safe investment. It's like the staple. It is the staple. Gold is a monetary metal. Silver is still monetary, more industrial. Gold is more of a store of value. It's like locking your money. Silver, you can do that, but there's still some other reasons to invest into that. Gold, you can fit $100,000 of gold in a shoebox. You cannot do that with silver. So if you are a bigger time investor, you might want to, diversify or even focus on just gold, because it still will preserve your wealth. It still has intrinsic value, amazing intrinsic value. Both have been valuable for over 5,000 years. Both will outlast and outsurvive the dollar. They both have great properties to them. But from my perspective, from my strategy, I see silver as more beneficial. It is more affordable. It's cheaper. But if you do want a little piece of both worlds, diversification is key. It really is. My ratio is probably every 100 or so ounces of silver, I'll accumulate like a half ounce to an ounce of gold. And that's just for me. That doesn't mean you have to do that. But that's a good ratio in my opinion. So not only is momentum currently in favor of the bulls, but also the recent weakness in the dollar is indicative of future strength in the commodity. There is a correlation. When the dollar index is low, gold and silver is high, and vice versa. When we throw out this $900 billion, we have to print more dollars to make up for that, which weakens the dollar. So it really is something that cannot be overlooked. And if you're in stocks, real estate, whatever the case is, you cannot ignore this stuff. And you know that they're paying attention. They have to be. If I was a stock channel, let's say my name was Stock Slayer, for example, and I was looking at what's happening in the economy, and as an investor, you have to understand every other investment you do. I mean, if you're trying to be a successful investor. And if I was looking at all this stuff happening in the economy, the one thing that would keep coming to my mind is how perfect precious metals would be for all this, especially given how shaky the dollar is right now, looking at the direction of the dollar, of the economy. It should be pounded in my brain that I should be stacking some silver or gold, right? And the thing is that they don't do that because they're investing emotionally, and that comes right along with panic selling. Impulse buying, panic selling, the most dangerous things you can do. Invest with your heart, not your head. Look at things realistically. Don't try to go off of I told you so or I'll prove you right. That's the wrong way to invest. Don't worry about anyone except yourself. Do not listen to the FUD, which stands for fear, uncertainty, doubt. There's a lot of false information. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of persuasive information. There's a lot of people that are going to try to tell you what to do for the sake of their own potential or their own reasons, which is so dangerous. You know how many articles I've read from like these stock types of articles or companies or websites where they'll try to downplay gold and silver or just throw out completely false information or give misinterpreted information just to make precious metals look like a bad investment. And I rip those articles apart. I had a couple months ago, I ripped these articles to shreds because the way they worded things, the way they phrased things made gold and silver look like a terrible investment. But the stuff they were saying, one, wasn't even true, and two, if the reader doesn't know about precious metals, they wouldn't even know that stuff isn't true. They'll just believe it because someone's saying it, and that's so dangerous, and that is really sad because a lot of people would benefit. Precious metals is by far the safest, smartest investment. By far. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. It's by far the safest. You actually have your wealth in your hand. When you transfer your money out of fiat into gold and silver, you are literally... You've taken your wealth out of something that is proposed to be wealth or it's an idea into something that really is valuable, right? No matter who says my 1 ounce silver coin is worth what, that's irrelevant because the value is the metal content, the 1 ounce of silver inside of it, not the spot price, not the price tag attached to it, like everything else is valued. So, anyways, I really like this article. It goes a lot more into charts. If you do, or if you are a chart person, I'll link this in the description so you can go on and dive more into this yourself. Like I always say, do your homework. Just because I read these articles on a daily basis doesn't mean that you don't have to do it on your own time. Go to Seeking Alpha, type in silver news today. There's a lot of different things that give a lot of really good insight. I mean, if you don't want to do that, if you really want to just rely on me, that's fine. I'll give you every day. I give you the newest, latest article. This article came out today. Every article I post on this channel came out today, or maybe the day before if it's something that I still think is relevant to cover. But here's the conclusion. Momentum tendencies suggest that gold's recent rally will carry through 2021. Dollar weakness is strongly indicative that gold will rally for at least the next 12 months. Seasonal tendencies suggest that gold's rally will continue in the shorter time frame. Remember, though, we're living in very unreliable times. So, very unstable times. So we can't expect stable prices right now. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. That's why silver's down a couple dollars within a week or so. So make sure you can take those opportunities to your advantage. A lot of people are probably going to buy and sell at the wrong times. Hopefully people on my channel buy and sell at the right times. Make sure that you are not investing emotionally. Invest with your head, not your heart. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. I post daily videos every single day. And, when I say subscribe, it's really not for my sake. It's honestly for yours. Because you will get on a daily basis the inside scoop of what's happening, right? What the prices are doing, and then you could adjust your strategy to that from this information. That is so important as an investor nowadays. Maybe not once upon a time, but nowadays it definitely is, especially with so much happening, so much going on. So you got to be subscribed to at least a channel like mine, at least. If it's not my channel, at least to some type of channel that gives out information on a daily basis like this. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.